Hi, my name is Adora Svitak. I'm the author of Flying Fingers. And today we're learning about setting, when and where your story takes place. Although people often think of setting as a location, time period is also an important part of setting. For example, say you want to set your story in New York. No, I didn't get my pictures mixed up. That really was how New York looked in the 1500s. Far cry from today, isn't it? As you can see, a story set in New York wouldn't work in 1500 wouldn't work if you set it in the present. Ayon Wata took a deep breath of the pristine morning air and began to prepare for a long day of hunting and gathering. Can you guess when my story takes place? Probably not. As writers, we need to include details about technology, fashion, etc. to give our readers clues about when and where our story takes place. Would you rather recline in a luxurious castle or stalk across a wild moor? Or would you rather set your story on a desert island or perhaps a medieval castle? One of the great things about writing is that you can set your story anywhere you want. This reminds me of something. Even though you can set your story anywhere, you should probably choose a setting that enhances the story or works well for it. Pharaoh stared out at New York City's sweeping skyline, his sharp and penetrating eyes not missing a single lighted window from even the most distant of skyscrapers. In the story I just started, I think my setting is working against me. Let me try something different. The Pharaoh stared out at the slaves dragging blocks of granite to build his final resting place, his sharp and penetrating eyes not missing a single flaw in the heavy blocks. That's better. Always make sure your setting matches your plot. Why is setting important to a story? Well, we already know that setting can be important to the plot of a story. For example, if you are writing a story that takes place in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, most of your plot is going to be directly related to your setting. In these examples, the setting adds a lot to your story and can even provide you with new ideas when you feel stuck. For example, the Katrina story, you might consider looking up pictures of devastation to help you with your descriptive writing. You could also read real news articles from the disaster and incorporate actual events into your storyline. To get started, we're going to make a list of possible settings. For each setting, we will include storylines that might go along well with it. For instance, China, the Cultural Revolution, we're not going to put a bunch of dynasties and emperors. Instead, maybe we could have the story of a girl whose parents are detained by the Red Guard or something, and we could make that a story, but it has to work well with the setting. So you can do your own list, or you can also choose the other examples from here. So for instance, a girl must help her parents escape, or maybe a girl must face troubles when her parents are detained by the Red Guard and help her family. So for instance, Egypt, Age of the Pharaohs, you could have it from the point of view of a slave making a the pyramid for the pharaoh. Or in the United States, you could have a story about a teenager, considering this now, you could have a story about a teenager just entering a junior high or something. So make sure that your story works well with your setting. When you're done with your list, choose a setting you like best and write a description of it. Now you're ready for setting part 2. Thanks for watching and listening. My name's Adora Svitak. I'm the author of Flying Fingers. For more info, go to www.adorasvitak.com and catch the next episode next week.